Hi guys, in this next series of videos we're going to look at how to compare two texts across time. We will look at a checklist of how to compare texts from two different eras and then examine two poems in detail and compare them using our checklist. We will then look at how we might write a paragraph analysing the two poems across time.
So when comparing it across time, this is a useful checklist just to ask yourself lots of questions so that we can better compare two texts that were written in different times. Firstly, we have to ask ourselves questions about form. We have to ask, is the form each writer uses traditional to the time it was written in? Why or why not? How does the difference in form influence how each writer presents the theme? And why is the form relevant to the content? Then we look at the context of the medium, and by medium I just mean whatever genre or form that they are writing in. So for example, the medium that someone who's written a sonnet will be using is the medium of the sonnet. So we must ask, how popular was each writer's chosen form or genre at the time and why? And how does each writer fit into the history of that medium? And also we have to ask what is typical or atypical. So what have they done that is typical of the medium that they've chosen, and what have they done that goes against this? We then need to look at literary contexts, and these next few are kind of more to do with context than the content of the texts. We have to ask, how does each writer themselves fit into the literary context of their time? And how might the literary context be similar or different between the two texts? And how might the literary context of one text inform the other, especially if one text seems to be taking influence from the way in which the text written earlier on in time is created? We then have to look at some of the historical and social contexts to better understand each text individually, but also to be able to compare them. We have to work out what was going on in history at the time each text was written, and how might this have influenced each writer's work. We've got to think on the lines of politics, the social life of people in that time, economics, and many other things. We also need to ask, could the differences between the texts be to do with the differing historical and social contexts, and why? And then finally, we look at reception, so how people perceived the text or the piece of literature when it was written, and how people perceive it now, and that often can be your own personal reaction.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're looking for an amazing A-level English literature resource, join me today in my series of engaging bite-sized video tutorials. Together, we will concisely cover all the important concepts required by your exam board specification, as well as practically apply what we have learnt through exam-style questions, focusing on how best to structure your answers in order to maximise marks. See you soon, and together let's make A-level English literature a walk in the park.